In Gaziantep Zugma Mosaic Museum, where unique mosaics are on display, hosted 118,000 visitors in the first half of 2015. It is expected that this number will reach 250,000 till the end of the year. Last year, 220 people visited Zugma Mosaic Museum in Turkey. Hundreds of unique mosaics such as bronze statue of Mars and Gypsy Girl mosaic are displayed on 2,748 square meters. The target is to increase the size to 3,000 square meters until the end of 2015. Foreign visitors of the museum mostly come from Germany, Holland and Belgium. Another historic spot is in Mersin, Soli Pompeipolis ancient city, which dates back to BC 700. Excavations started in 1999 and are continuing in the city. The work will focus on uncovering and restoring the rest of a Roman-era street lined with columns. Inside shots, Zugma Museum. Movable type printing is one of the four great inventions of ancient China. This time-honored technology finds a modern-day champion in the coastal city of Qingdao. Print your letter, then seal it with hot wax. Not just a bit of nostalgia, but a living, breathing monument of ancient China's inventiveness. Ruan Tongmin, the director of the specialist printing house in Qingdao called Time Mark, can tell you every story of every object here. His own connection with the ancient craft dates back more than 2 decades. He said when he was a boy, he had an uncle who worked at the printing shop in their country, and he often went to play with him. Ruan thinks that this was when he grew attached to printing stuff. The smell of ink is a nostalgic memory. But what goaded Ruan into taking action were claims from South Korea in or around 2007 that movable type printing originated there. Ruan said he heard from a friend that visitors can experience the craft for free at the airport in South Korea. They can claim something that is not theirs. Why are we sitting here doing nothing to pass it on? So in his 30s, Ruan Tongmin started a new career in old printing. Getting started, however, proved much harder than he had expected. He had to contract a lot of antique dealers and travel the country in search of old machines and printing modules. But finally, 1 year and 1 million yuan later, he managed to assemble everything he needed and opened his printing house on Nanjing Road. The investment has paid off, and Ruan now receives more visitors to his ink-scented premises than he could ever have imagined. One visitor said many of his friends have strongly recommended this place to him, and he has seen a lot about it on WeChat Moments, so he has come to take a look. A girl said it's very interesting, and this is rarely seen these days, so it's quite fun to do this with her own hands. Ruan's collection of machinery continues to grow. He's especially proud of this one, dubbed Little Monster, which was made in Germany in the 1950s. You can brush ink on it after the wheel starts to spin, then you can get this pattern. Isn't it beautiful? Ruan Tongmin is now developing side businesses alongside his printing, including vintage-style tailoring, but his most ambitious goal is to open Time Mark printing houses across the country. China held a ceremony on a South China Sea island on Friday to mark the beginning of operation of 2 large lighthouses. The Huiyang Lighthouse and Qigua Lighthouse are located on Huiyang Reef of China's Nansha Islands. As the first civil aids to navigation in the Nansha waters, the lighthouses will greatly improve navigational conditions and reduce navigational risks by providing route guidance, safety information, and emergency rescue and other public services to vessels sailing in the waters. A local fisherman said the lighthouse will be very useful for them. If the navigation system breaks down, they can see it from afar. Construction of the 50-meter-high cylindrical Huangyang and cone cylindrical Qigua lighthouses began on May 26th this year. The reinforced concrete structures have a light range of 22 nautical miles and a glowing cycle of 8 seconds. The different parts of their 4.5-meter lanterns, according to different functional requirements, are made of bronze, steel, and alloy steel respectively, and protected by a zinc coating and anti-corrosion paint. Thanks to the automatic identification systems, the VHF stations inside the lighthouses, efficient navigation services, including positioning reference, route guidance, and navigation safety information, will be provided to ships, which will improve navigation management and emergency response. South China Sea is an important maritime lane of communication connecting China and the rest of the world, as well as a critical maritime corridor linking the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean. The severe shortage of navigational aids in maritime emergency and oil spill response forces and facilities in the South China Sea has immensely hindered navigation safety and economic and social development in the region. The 2 lighthouses will improve civil aids to navigation in the South China Sea. To carry out international responsibilities and obligations for maritime research and rescue, prevention and mitigation of natural disasters, maritime environmental protection, navigation safety and fishery, China's Ministry of Transport will continue constructing facilities for navigational aid, emergency response and life-saving in the South China Sea, so as to provide regional countries and the passing vessels with navigation services in an effort to forge a safety chain and network in the region. Seoul Chongyi Street may soon be the home of many fabulous outdoor restaurants, as these businesses will be allowed to operate in certain areas of the capital city, including tourist districts and Daehangno in northern Seoul. The deregulatory measure is aimed at boosting local economies. People have gathered at Chongyi Stream to beat the sweltering heat. Enjoying the waterside ambience from an elegant cafe becomes an enticing option. Kim So-young, a citizen, said they can eat, talk, breathe in the fresh air and also watch the water flow by. From now on, Seoulites will be able to drink beverages and enjoy meals at outdoor establishments while taking in the view of Chongyi Stream. Restaurants have received approval to sell food outdoors with parasols installed. In addition to the Jamsil Tourism District and the vehicle-free Sinchon area, outdoor catering is now allowed in more places, including the Chongyi Stream area, the Da-dong and Mogyo-dong Special Tourist Zone, and the Daehangno area. The measure seeks to revive the flagging local economy by turning downtown areas into popular tourist destinations, such as the likes of open-air cafes in Paris and the flea market in Tokyo's Yoyogi Park, which has become global attractions. The Seoul Metropolitan Government has announced plans to allow food trucks and outdoor restaurant businesses in increasingly more areas in the capital city. Mount Nam Park offers panoramic views of Seoul. It is a popular tourist destination visited by tens of thousands of tourists each day, and a new type of aerial lift will be introduced to better accommodate those who want to reach the mountain summit. Tourists from a line to take a cable car bound for the top of Mount Nam in Seoul. Kim Hyun-ah, a visitor, said she chose to take the cable car for her children. It was good to go up quickly. However, cable cars can only accommodate as many as 6,000 people a day. Averagely more than 15,000 tourists visit the park by bus each day. Lines of cars take up the limited space and cause pollution. To address the worsening air pollution, the Seoul Metropolitan Government has decided to allow only electric cars to enter Mount Nam Park starting 2018. It will operate gondola lifts to the top of the mountain as an alternative to tourist buses. The gondolas will run at 888-meter route from the Yijangjarak parking area near Myeongdong to the top of Mount Nam. Hong Soon-ki, official Seoul Metro government, said it will reduce greenhouse gases and exhaust fumes and improve the pedestrian environment. Another major reason for introducing gondola lifts is to enhance accessibility for senior citizens. 20 gondolas will operate at Mount Nam from 2018, transporting 1,200 people an hour. 19 crested ibises born in Japan have been released into the wild. More than 200 birds have left the conservation center since the project began 7 years ago. The 19 birds flew out when officials at the center on Sado Island in the Sea of Japan opened their aviary on Friday morning. The birds had been learning how to fly and finding food at the facility. 215 crested ibises have been released into the wild since 2008. A senior Environment Ministry official in charge of the birds' protection, Yukio Hirono, says the number of crested ibises in the wild has increased. Many crested ibis chicks were born in the wild last year. I hope some of them will breed with the newly released birds. UNESCO is adding 2 Japanese documentary assets to its Memory of the World Register. The Japanese assets are Buddhist temple archives and post-World War II internment and repatriation records. UNESCO made the decision after an advisory panel examined nominations at a meeting in Abu Dhabi. The internment records consist of 570 items. They include diaries and drawings by former Japanese inmates of Siberian internment camps and lists of those repatriated after the war. The records are kept in the port city of Maizuru. About 660,000 Japanese arrived there from Siberia and elsewhere after the war. The other Japanese asset is an archive from Toji Temple in the city of Kyoto. Known as the Toji Hyakugo Monjo, it consists of 25,000 documents from more than 1,000 years old. The material gives insight into the culture and daily life of the people across Japan. It is designated as a national treasure. UNESCO's decision means 5 Japanese assets are listed on the Memory of the World Register. In Barkamol Avlod, or a mature generation, Children's Center of Termiz City, Uzbekistan, held Fair of India exhibition. The exhibition showcased products manufactured by more than 20 companies of India. India has a valuable history. It has a traditional and strong cultural, trade and economical relationships, most importantly sincere friendship bonds with Uzbekistan. Besides that, there are similarities in history, literature, music, graphic art and architecture of Uzbekistan and India. Ever since independence, cooperation bonds between 2 countries are becoming stronger. This can also be seen at the fair named Fair of India, which is being held in Surzan Oasis. The fair exhibited products of more than 20 companies and manufacturers. Products and services were tailoring, weaving and carving of wood, household items, jewelries, souvenirs and different types of crafts. The main aim of the fair is to acquaint Uzbek people with the products manufactured in India, develop economic and trade relations among the businessmen of 2 countries and sign mutual agreements.